8:27, welcome back and good Monday morning. Thanks so much for waking up with us here on ARC Rochester. I'm Dan Schrack.
I'm Abby Fridman. We still have a lot to get to this morning. Let's jump right into our next guest.
Yes, this is an exciting one, a Rochester native, people. Writer, producer, showrunner. She's been defying gravity and achieving some pretty wicked success recently.
Yeah, Dana Fox is the co-writer and executive producer of the very popular film Wicked. It released this past Friday, and this morning we are thrilled to chat with her live and learn more about her time working on the hit film. Good morning. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here. That was the greatest introduction. I feel like I'm an amazing person now.
Hey,
so
well, you're impressive,
Dana. Yeah, you're definitely something to brag about. I mean, we're telling people that we know that we're getting the chance to speak with you, which thank you. And congratulations. The box office numbers are out. We had our big opening on Friday. What's your initial reaction to the wild phenomenon going on in the zeitgeist where everyone is wicked focused?
It's been absolutely amazing. You know, I've had a lot of different kinds of movies come out, and I've never had one where everything is okay. Like, it's all working. The critics love it. People love it. The box office is good. So I sort of don't know what to do with myself. I'm so used to worrying and knocking on wood and, you know, being scared. And it's just great. It's amazing. Watching the way that people seem to respond to this movie. I've had so many people reach out to me and say how it moved them, how it feels like it's changing their life, how they feel seen, how they feel different after watching the movie. And truly, that's what the group of us tried to do. I mean, we worked together for almost 3 years. We did 158 hours of Zooms before we even started writing the movies. And so we cared so much. It was an incredible group. I got to work with the original writers of the play and the lyricist who wrote all the music, Stephen Schwartz. So I worked with Winnie Holtzman and Stephen Schwartz and John Chu, the director, who is absolutely one of my favorite people on planet Earth. So it was an extraordinary experience just to even get to do it.
Let me ask you, okay, full disclosure. I have not seen the movie, and I'm debating whether or not I want to even see it yet. I just don't know that my heart can take it, and I might need to see them both back to back. I might have to wait. But based on the reviews, based on clips that I've seen, based on what people are saying, it sounds like the emerald thread that really tied this together and made it arguably the biggest movie of the season so far is the united love of that musical. From the dialogue to the songs to the imagination and what theater goers thought they were seeing, you guys brought that to life. The creative wherewithal to follow what you already knew was good was brilliant.
Yeah, and we knew that the fans of the play were really, really, really rabid fans of the play. So we knew we had to satisfy them. So we thought about the fans of the play all the time. But frankly, I didn't know the play that well. I came into the project not as a mega fan. I left as a mega fan of the play, but I did not start that way. So part of what I think my job was to sort of be like, yeah, but this movie has to work for people who have never seen the musical or who actually don't even really like musicals, who maybe don't know anything about The Wizard of Oz. So I was constantly sort of playing the role of that viewer and making sure that the movie worked for those people too. Because in order for the movie to actually work globally, you know, Wicked isn't necessarily known in certain countries. It's a very big, it's a big show that is known in a lot of countries, but there's certain countries that don't even have it. So we sort of knew that the movie had to sort of stand on its own 2 feet. We were just so lucky to have something at the core of it that was so strong and undeniable. And there's a reason that play has been on Broadway for over 20 years and has been so successful and one of the most successful plays on Broadway because it just works. And so we knew, don't mess with anything that is already there and try to chip off little spaces for us to explore deeper into the characters and into what they might be doing outside of that. Because if you think about it, a play, you know, it's that, that's it. And so you don't know what's over here or over here, but in a movie, you have to know that. You have to be able to leave the classrooms, go to the other buildings. Even if you don't go there in the movie, you have to be able to go there as the writers and the director. You have to know what's over there. So there was a lot of world building that had to be done. There was a lot of sort of like questions being asked about like, wait, what is her power actually? Because, you know, things that you can't do on stage, you can do in a movie. And we thought, well, if we're making this into a movie, we have to make it the best movie anyone's ever seen, because otherwise why do it? Because the play is already extraordinary. So we tried to find ways that you could do things in the movie that you could never do on stage. You can see little children, you can see Elphaba as a baby, as a child. You can't really do that in a Broadway play. And you can do close-ups. You can get really into the emotions of what is going on with the girls. And truly, I think that's the other thing people are really responding to, is that it's really about this incredible relationship between these two girls. And we got the most extraordinary women to play those roles, Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande, who are maybe just the nicest people you will ever meet in your entire life. They are so sweet. At the premiere, my kids got a chance to go, and they've never seen one of my movies. They've never seen anything I've done. And this was their first experience. And I was like, don't get used to it, kids. But they went to the premiere and they met all the stars of the movie. And Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo acted like the entire premiere was thrown for my children. Like, that's how nice they were to my kids. They were like, you're here, thank goodness. So it's just an incredibly nice group of people. And so to have the success with them is just the best part of the whole thing.
We're so excited to see it, truly. And there is something so special about the fact that you're from the Rochester area. Dana, I want to know if you could talk to your 20-year-old self, your 18-year-old self. You know, I'm sure we have young people watching this morning. What would you say to Dana at 20 years old?
Well, first of all, Rochester was the best place in the world to grow up. I grew up in Brighton. I absolutely love it. I come back all the time. My dad still lives there. Rochester's the greatest. I know it's cold, but I think there's something about it that makes like a real hardy person, you know, a person who knows how to work hard, because it's not easy living in Rochester. So I think the thing that Rochester taught me, weirdly, was to really hustle and try to have a really good work ethic. So if I could talk to my former self, the little girl that lived there, you know, I would say, keep working hard, and dream big. The world is a really big place. And Rochester is an amazing place to come home to, but, you know, you can explore the rest of the world. I think that, you know, the people there are really extraordinary. I have so many good friends from there, the Dowells, the Castles, people that I grew up with, Edith Lank, who is the most extraordinary person who lived in Rochester. And so I think I became who I was because of the people in Rochester. So I would say, you know, keep those people close, learn what you can from people. I actually fell in love with theater through Rochester. You know, Jiva Theater, my parents took me there when I was really little, and they took me to the Little Theater to see movies. And so I kind of fell in love with it in Rochester. And I did theater when I was in middle school. I mean, I was like, not great, guys, but I did it. And that's kind of how I fell in love with it. And then I went off and tried to do this movie thing that seemed completely improbable. But because of my crazy Rochester work ethic, where I knew everything was hard, but you just had to keep working, I was able to be successful, which was awesome. But then it brought me back to theater, which was like my Rochester love. So don't think that whatever you're doing there right now is too small or unimportant. It all matters. I remember every single play I did there, and I remember every single theater friend and all the people who mentored me and who helped me, and the teachers at my school, my English teacher, oh my gosh. So that would be my advice, is like, keep working hard, because the person who works the hardest usually wins.
For somebody who defies gravity, you're keeping it pretty grounded here, Dana. I have 1.5 questions that I have to ask you quickly. How many times have you seen the full film?
That's a great question. I watched the film several times when it was being put together in like friends and family screenings to try to sort of make it better. You know, you watch it with a group of people, you hear what the audience is responding to and what you can sort of feel when people start to shuffle around and you're like, ooh, they're getting bored.
Yep.
You know, so you do those screenings, but I don't really count those because that's not the finished movie. The finished movie I have seen 3 times, and I would say the second and third time were even better than the first time. The first time time you see it, it's really overwhelming. I mean, there's a lot to it. It's beautiful. There's something happening in every area of the screen. The cinematographer is a friend of mine. She's a woman, by the way, which is sort of an extraordinary thing for a movie this big. Unfortunately, there are not as many women doing that role as you would wish. But the screen is just beautiful and filled with these incredible things to look at. And the emotions are so high and the songs are so extraordinary. And it's a little overwhelming, honestly. And then the second time I saw it, it just washed over me. And I just sat there sort of like casually weeping in the corner, just being like, I can't believe I had anything to do with this movie.
Yeah, I'm sure you're not the only one. You're not the only one.
That's nice.
Is the second film cut? Has that been edited yet?
Yes, so we have a cut of that, but of course everybody's been really busy finishing this movie because this movie has been a huge bear of a movie. So, you know, they're going to get back to work, honestly, like today.
If you need a friend and family member to do a screening of that, we would be beyond honored. And I would take it very seriously. I don't even need to be paid.
I believe that you would, and you have to call me after you watch the movie and tell me what you think.
Oh, I absolutely will.
Life-changing experience. You
Absolutely
might be like the guy that loves musicals after this.
Yes, yes, yes. Dana Fox, thank you so much for your time this morning. We really appreciate it, and congratulations, on this amazing success of yours.
Thank you so much for having me. You guys are great.
Thanks very
Take
much.
care.
Time right now is 8:39. When we come back, we're checking back.